live on TikTok, live on YouTube, where conversations matter. Conversations matter right here on the Hello Neighbor show. Uh, Please press the white arrow and repost the live using the yellow circle. Um, Send us a gift, a rose, heart me, and of course, let us know that you are right here with us on the Hello Neighbor show. Um, Mr. Giovanni Dennis, he is the new CEO
Goes to Dr. Andrew Holness.
of the JIS. That's Mr. Giovanni Dennis. Now, I am a believer in meritocracy. But you know, Jamaica is a very unique place. And I have wondered whether Mr. Giovanni Dennis is the right choice for the CEO of the GIS. I'm going to have some more to say on it, but I don't want to say it tonight because I am putting my thoughts together a little bit more. But for what it is worth, listen to Mr. Giovanni Dennis in the leadership debate. Listen to Mr. Giovanni Dennis asking the Prime Minister a question.
Dr. Holness, on the matter of your government's hostility towards accountability institutions, in a world where journalists reporting on the conflict in Gaza are being murdered, the constant attacks on the press in Jamaica by both political parties undermine press freedom and has been reflected in Jamaica's slippage on the World Press Freedom Index. We have just seen the release of the names of journalists that both political parties objected to participating in the national debates. Why do both parties continue to undermine press freedom and put journalists in danger?
Now, did Mr. Giovanni Dennis write that question? Or was the question written and given to him? I'd love if Mr. Giovanni Dennis could help us with it. Did you write that question, Mr. Dennis? That question that you asked the Prime Minister, did you write it yourself? Or was that question written for you? Because the basis of the question is flawed. Now, the Jamaica Information Service is the government of Jamaica's official information agency. The core mission is not adversarial journalism in the traditional media sense. The JIS exists to inform citizens about government policies and programs. The JIS communicates official information accurately. The JIS is supposed to facilitate public understanding of government actions. And the GIS is supposed to support transparency and civic awareness. And therefore, as head of GIS, Mr. Giovanni Dennis occupies a unique position, and his role requires professional communication skills, credibility, accuracy, and an ability to distinguish facts from advocacy. As head of a national information agency, Mr. Dennis should be able to display exceptional precision with facts. During the leadership debate, Dennis framed a question around alleged government hostility to accountability and suggested that the government involvement in excluding journalists from the debate, that Mr. Giovanni Dennis was inaccurate as outlined by the Prime Minister. Listen.
To be clear, my political party does not undermine press freedom. To be clear, my political party did not object. The objections came from the PNP. And historically, it is the PNP that has been vociferous, including attacking a particular radio station. I personally have stayed away from any negative commentary about any journalists. Journalists are important, and I support strong journalism. And I want to make that absolutely clear.
Goes to Dr. Andrew Holness.
Dr. Holness, on the matter of your government's
There you have it. The factual record showed that it was the opposition that had the objections. It was not the government. The question asked by Mr. Dennis reflected either inadequate preparation or an acceptance of a false narrative. Two things. Is either Mr. Giovanni Dennis accepted a false narrative, or Mr. Giovanni Dennis did not prepare himself well for the debate. And therefore, it does not inspire confidence. Mr. Dennis does not inspire confidence as someone tasked with leading Jamaica's premier public information institution. Mr. Dennis needs to explain how he arrived at that question. Enough on that. Good night to you again. Welcome to the Hello Neighbor Show. Please stop the screen, share the live, tell your neighbors that your neighbor is on, and we'll be on with you until 10 o'clock. I invite you to look around you. Jamaica, under Andrew Holness, isn't the Jamaica we were handed. There was a time when Jamaica was on the menu. Decisions were made about us, never for us. Today, we're on the table. We're setting the terms. Hi, Shafreen.
Yes, neighbor.
We lost electricity.
Oh no.
Right, so we are
Miss Holness. Let me just make sure that you are good on YouTube. Just give me a moment. You could just keep talking. You're still alive.
okay. So you probably we should do this. Go that over again. But maybe we should restart
Oh, we start the live?
the YouTube one. Yes.
Hmm. I think we're good. I'll just edit this.
You can cut that out.
Yes, absolutely. I can do it and then re-upload it like I did the other one.
Yeah. From time to time we have these problems in Jamaica with electricity just going, and when that happens, we don't have any internet. You understand?
Yes.
All right. I don't think we're back up yet. On 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 TikTok. Are we back? I'm sorry, guys. We lost power. We lost power just now. So Sheffreen,
Yes, neighbor.
we have basically lost all our everything we had planned for tonight. It's all gone up. So we're gonna have to restore all of that.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what happens. Because everything is connected to the internet, so we had to. Let's see if we can back it up. All right. I think we're good. All right. Let me know if you're hearing me on TikTok. Are you? Are you hearing me over there on TikTok? Please let me know. All right. Let me know if you're hearing me. If you're hearing me on TikTok. Okay, Joyce. Joyce. You hearing me? You hearing me? All right. You hearing me? All right. Sheffreen. You hearing me? All right, Sheffreen. All right, great. Okay,
Yes.
so I apologize for that, listeners.
Yes, it's not great on YouTube, so I'm just gonna go check it on TikTok to
Yeah,
see.
that was a break in our electricity supply. No fault of ours. We we had a break in the electricity. Just bear with us so that we can get all the systems back up online and get everything running again. Hey Sharon, how are you? Doing all right? Great to have you.
You sound good on TikTok, neighbor.
I sound good on TikTok.
Yes, you do.
All right. So my screens aren't back up yet, but I'm going to go for it. All right. Okay. So the there was a time in Jamaica when decisions made about us, and I'm suggesting to you that today we are on the table. We are setting the terms. That's what steady leadership does. It doesn't have to be loud, doesn't have to be flashy. Steady. Steady. Hashtag steady. I'm going to take you somewhere tonight. Stay with me. Psychologically, we have been trained to distrust competence. That is competence that does not perform for us. We expect leaders to shout, to fight, to bleed in public. Andrew Holness does not give us theater. He's not theatrical. You remember in the last election, there was a man talking about one by one them going to jail. Holness is not theatrical. He gives us roads that, don't mash up our cars. He gives us an economy that kept growing when the world shut down. He gives us crime stats that finally bend downward after decades of climbing. He's not theatrical. Jamaica is being studied now, you know. Not pitied. The Singapore of the Caribbean is emerging. You are part of history, you know. This has stopped sounding like a dream. And it has started sounding like a blueprint. So when you see the sustained attack on the Prime Minister, you, a son of the soil, a man from Spanish Town, who transformed the lives of all Jamaicans, you see that he gets less respect than those who broke the soil. I'm going to tell you why. I want you to stay with me. Sit down, get your coffee, get a cup of juice. Yeah, there's a fan in the background, sir. I'm hot inside here. You have to work with it. Shafreen, is the fan too loud?
I don't hear a fan either.
You don't hear a fan?
No. I
All
just
right.
hear you.
Okay, I've turned it off. Excellence exposes us, and wholeness holds up a mirror. If he can be steady, disciplined, and visionary while coming from the same yards we come from, then the question turns on us. What's our excuse? Excellence exposes us. And I'm going to tell you why Jamaica has a proclivity for the PNP. Many in the Labour Party wants to deny it, but it is not an untruth. Jamaica does have a proclivity for the People's National Party, and I'm going to show you tonight why Holness is probably one of the world's greatest leader living at this point. I'm not speaking about the Caribbean. I'm speaking about globally. I wasn't prepared to talk to you about this tonight, but because I rushed it. I'm going to tell Jamaicans why Holness is one of the best leaders in the world. I want to repeat that because some of you may not have heard me and you may be saying, what is he saying? Yeah. Andrew Holness is among the greatest leaders in the world. Jamaica has a prime minister that is rated among the best leaders of all times. I will point you the problem, and at the end of this, you can tell me if I'm not correct. The Prime Minister of Jamaica, I don't think there are 5 other leaders in the world that are as good as he is. He is a gift from God. And I would encourage the nation to protect him with all you have got. God has given to Jamaica a Joseph in Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness is not only a leader, he's a gift. He is one of a kind. He's a genius. He's gifted. He has no match in the Caribbean. And maybe he is among the best in the world. This man that is leading Jamaica was sent to us by God Almighty. And I'm going to tell you this, Jamaica. you have not treated him well. And God is going to judge Jamaica for how it has treated this prime minister. PJ Patterson got more respect. Portia Simpson got more respect. This man is in a class by himself. He's a fantastic prime minister. Sorry, you may say, hello? No, the meeting is not on. I have to call you back here. I'm sorry about that. You see, there are not many great thinkers in Jamaica today. My moderator, may God bless her, she has taken this program to a different level. And she don't want us to focus on the mundane stuff. My moderator wants us to be the platform that deals with matters that are real. You know, she tells me, you don't have to cover the news. The other people are covering the news. And if I may admit, moderator, I have resisted it, but I've thought about it, and I say, you know, you're right. Let's not deal with the mundane daily stuff. Let's deal with the issues that cause people to think. And I put it to you tonight that Jamaica has one of the world's best leader leading it. Jamaica don't know what it has. They don't. If it was not for Andrew Holness, thousands of Jamaicans would have died in COVID. Thousands. And let me tell you this, if it was not for Andrew Holness, the hurricane recovery efforts, Jamaicans would have suffered. You would have sucked salt through a wooden spoon if it wasn't for this man. This man has a gifted hand. The hand of Andrew Holness is a divinely gifted hand, you know. He's not an ordinary man. He's not a perfect man. There's no perfect leader. But Holness has a gifted hand, and he has a gifted mind. Holness's mind is like one of these great scientists. You know, he is far above. If you put all of the people in parliament together, all of them, they could not outsmart or outwit him. He's that good. And he's not good because of academic. He's good because he has grace upon him. You know, grace? Grace that comes from God. The grace to endure. And that's kind of why he is attacked so much, you know. It is not Holness that is being attacked. It is the gift that is upon Holness that is being attacked. You know, the gift that is upon Holness. You see, because excellence exposes us. You ever hear they say you don't stone a green mango tree? It's true. Holness holds up a mirror. He holds up a mirror, and which says, if I can be steady, disciplined, visionary, while coming from the same yard that you come from, then the question turns on you. What's your excuse? You see what I just said there? That Holness is a mirror of what every Jamaican can become. Talk with me. A boy from Spanish Town grew up in a, board house, goes to Spanish Town Primary, then goes to St. Catherine High, and then to the University of the West Indies, is now among the world's greatest leaders. That's a mirror. I've spoken to you about the poverty of aspirations. Yeah, it's easier, you see, to tear down what you don't want to live up to. I will say that again. It's easier to tear down what you don't want to live up to. Take this platform for an example. And I don't want to sound boastful, but some of the attacks that we have come under is bad mind, We don't do nobody nothing. We tear down what we can't be. Before we aspire, we pull down. Before we say, there goes my aspiration. That's what I would want to be. And then you press towards it. The Apostle Paul said, I press towards the mark. He says, I have not attained just yet, but this one thing I do, I press. Yeah, can you press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling? The aspiration. Holness should be Jamaica's aspiration. It's easier to call the builder worst than to admit he's showing what best actually looks like. What Holness is doing is that he's showing what leadership looks like. None before him have done it. He's showing Jamaica what leadership looks like. The facts don't need defending. They're on the ground. New schools, new hospitals. Go to Spanish Town, Cornwall Regional, the new Children's Hospital in Montego Bay. There's going to be a new hospital in Kingston. The University of the Hospital is getting a brand new wing. It's not defending, it's on the ground. Everything is new. International podiums. Respect from leaders who run countries twice the size. The man goes to G20. Andrew Holness goes to the G20 meeting in South Africa. And the media wanted to talk to him. Not to President Lulu from Brazil. Not to Mr. Macron from France. Not to Keir Starmer from the United Kingdom. They wanted to talk to a man who governs a country of 2.8 million. Why? The man has grace. The man has class. The man is a world leader. He went on the Nimitz today. You see the adulation, the respect that he gets. That's grace. And I want to say to you that I think Jamaica has something many countries lack. Jamaica has something that many countries lack, A leader who thinks in generations. There are not many leaders who think in generations. P.J. Patterson was not a leader. His thinking was the next election. Portia, well, we know her limitations. This is a man that does not think about the next election. He's thinking about 30 years down the road. Do you listen to your prime minister? Do you listen to him speak? I beg you, Take your time to listen to Prime Minister Holness. Jamaica has what many nations lack. A man who believes we deserve more than survival, that we deserve to build. This is Singapore's Lee Kuan Yew is Jamaica's Andrew Holness. And I tell you this, I don't want to make election prediction, but one more term, and every person listening to me tonight will come back to say to me, neighbor, you were correct. Andrew Holness is among the world's greatest leader living today. That's Holness.
Asking everyone to repost the live and send a heart raise, please.
That's Holness. Thank you, Caroline. That's leadership. And whether we clap now or we clap later, history will record it. And I'm going to make a bold prediction. That I suspect that Andrew Holness has one landslide left in him. It's not going to be the fourth term. I suspect he will win the fourth term. And I suspect after the fourth term, he'll win a landslide. Up to 50 seats. And I can show you how. But I don't want to reveal my strategy to the people, the PNP them. And I'm not joking. I'm serious about it. Jamaica has someone it should never try to get rid of. God has blessed Jamaica and we don't even know. We are blessed with someone, and whether we clap now or we clap later, it reminds me of the text that says, as I live, says God, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Every Jamaican is going to look back and say, yes, this man was the greatest. This is Jamaica moving from the menu to the table, and we are not going back. The idea, you see, that that Holness holds up a mirror is a thought I want to expand with you. I want to expand it a bit with you. As I said, I rushed this to come here tonight, so pardon me. I'll work with me. I told you earlier that excellence exposes us, and Holness holds up a mirror. And when that mirror shows a son from Spanish Town balancing budgets, building hospitals, and earning the respect of world leaders, the question stops being about him. The question turns on us. What's our excuse for being great? I ask that to every Jamaican tonight. What is your excuse for being great? What is your excuse when a son of the soil shows you that you can be among the best in the world? That's part of the problem that Holness has, because he's a mirror. And you cannot fail in Jamaica under Andrew Holness. And some of you are comfortable with where you are. And Holness is showing you. Holness makes you uncomfortable. Because Holness is demonstrating that no matter where you come from, no matter where you come from in Jamaica, you can be on top of the world. Don't tell me about your mother. Don't tell me about ghetto. Don't tell me about that. I am a reflection of success. And if I can do it, you can do it. That mirror is what a lot of Jamaicans do not want to face. But I challenge you tonight. Look into the mirror. Jamaicans, look into the mirror that Holness is holding up before you. And come along on this journey and see if this country here, Jamaica, little Jamaica, now become one of the greatest country in the world. We have to be honest about why that question stings. It stings, you know. But it's not new. Because it's colonial. For 300 years, we were taught our role was to labor. 300 years. We were taught that we were not leaders, we were laborers. For 300 years, we were taught to survive the system, not design a system, survive it. For 300 years, we were taught that excellence was something they had. What we had was endurance, not excellence. That lie got wired into the national psyche. Big man a foreign man, big man a foreign. Boss man, big man a light-skinned man, brown man. Big man can't come from my yard. No success can't come from down here. That was wired in us through colonialism. 300 years. I'm going to show you tonight how great Jamaica is going to become. I'm going to show you tonight the class act that Andrew Holness is. I'm going to show you tonight. Then we had independence. But the mismanagement came with independence. Decades of governments that treated the treasury like it was their personal purse. Roads that melted in the sun, potholes broke out all over the nation, hospitals ran down, schools, they locked them down, clinics ran out of medication, the police force corrupt, murders were rampant, poverty, you could feel it. The stench of mismanagement pervaded the society. Hospitals were without bed, they used candle bags as aprons. An economy that yo-yoed between IMF bailouts and broken promises. That became our standard. That became our psychology. Imagine, from 300 years of being told we can't do it, to independent Jamaica falling by the wayside. We gotta, you know what they call, you know what they call this? They call it trauma bonding. Jamaica got trauma bonded to low expectations. You know, I don't know if you know that you can be in a relationship that is abusive and you can't leave. You can be in a relationship, you know, that is quite bad for you. You're not getting any love. All you are getting is pain. But guess what? Every now and then, he or she pats you on your back and give you a little something. And that moment of pleasure erases the 29 days of pain and make you think that's the panacea. So the solution to your pain is lying down in your bed. It's called trauma bonding. And so you are bonded to trauma. Jamaica was trauma bonded to low expectations. That's what I call PNPism. The People's National Party have hurt Jamaica, you know.
please repost the live, listeners. Keep tapping, share, and send the heart me's, please.
Marcus Garvey, you see, talked about the emancipating of yourself from mental slavery. The worst thing that the PNP did to Jamaica was not the economic destruction of the 90s, you know. It is that it created a psyche in Jamaica that we can't do any better. What a sad state of affairs. What a sad state of affairs we got into. So when a leader comes and actually manages the money, actually finishes projects, actually thinks past the next election, it feels foreign. I will tell you why Holness did not win a landslide in the last election. I will tell you. Bear with me. It feels foreign. It feels uncomfortable because it breaks the pattern our brains were trained to accept as normal Jamaican politics. That's the damage. Mismanagement set the bar so low. Competence now looks like arrogance. P.J. Patterson is the enslaver of modern Jamaica. Andrew Holness is the liberator of modern Jamaica. But it starts with a psychological understanding of the problem. It is a psychological problem. And that's why discipline now looks like dictatorship. Long-term planning looks like the neglect of the people. Because we were trained to expect handouts. We were trained to expect handouts instead of infrastructure tomorrow. That's the psyche of Jamaica. Holness refuses to play to that script. He is not performing poverty for votes. He's not pretending the country can be fixed with vibes and speeches. He's building. Boring, but methodical. Generational building. Great man. Great man. A man sent from God to us. And that building forces a reckoning. If he, from Spanish Town, from the same cracked sidewalks we walked on, from the same board house we all lived in, if he can rise and govern with restraint and vision, then the narrative dies. The narrative that says we can't because they never did. The narrative that blames colonialism for everyday tomorrow. The narrative that blames colonialism for everything today while doing nothing to change tomorrow. Like Barack Obama. The mantra of Jamaica under Holness is yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. You see, colonialism broke us. I won't deny that. But Holness is proof that colonialism doesn't get the last word. At some point, the mirror, the mirror stares back at us. You look in the mirror and it speaks back to you. And it says, you have been free for 63 years. What will you do with it? Jamaica, you have been free for 63 years. What will you do with it? That's why the attacks are sustained. Not because Holness is failing, far from that, but because he's succeeding in a way that makes excuses impossible. Jamaicans want to continue making excuses for their state of affairs. That's part of the problem. He's not running a country. Listen to me carefully. He's not running a country. He's changing a mindset. Wow. Andrew Holness is not running a country, and I want labor rights to listen to me. Some of you MPs, members of the party, the Prime Minister is not running a country. What the Prime Minister is doing is changing a mindset. And let me tell you, you see any time that mindset changes in Jamaica, it's going to be a landslide. Help him now. Help him now, labor rights. It's going to be a landslide. I'm going to get to that. And mindsets fight back. Mindsets fight back harder than politicians do. Dane Campbell is no match. Dane Campbell don't even understand the politics. Nikisha Burchell, pity her. She don't understand what she's saying. Mark Golding, he has interest I don't want to talk about tonight. Holness is dismantling 300 years of mindset and 63 years of low expectation. I want to name the mindset. I want to name the mindset. The mindset I speak of is learned colonial dependency. Follow me. Learned colonial dependency. It's called the internalized master. The internalized master. Physically, the colonial masters left, but they never took with them the mindset. The internalized master. And there are three mindsets that Holness is changing. One is what we call the scarcity mindset. Colonialism taught us there's never enough. Never enough roads, never enough money, never enough opportunity until they give it. So politics in Jamaica became begging. It was the politics of begging. Governments that mismanaged taught us to expect crumbs, then fight over the crumbs. Scarcity makes you tribal. That's what Patterson talked about when he spoke about the benefit of the fight for scarce benefits and political spoils. If the thing is scarce, it causes a war. Scarcity makes you tribal. It makes you accept corruption if at least my side is eating. The mindset of scarcity is a tribal politics. That's the first one. The second is the spectacle mindset. We are trained to measure leadership by noise, not outcomes. The louder the speech, the bigger the bus tour, the more for the people, the more you can shout and dance on stage. Look at Portia Simpson Miller. Where did Mrs. Simpson Miller get her popularity from? Why was Mrs. Simpson Miller popular? And Mr. Crawford. Mismanagement normalized performance over performance metrics. If a leader wasn't shouting, he wasn't working. If he wasn't one of the boys, he was out of touch. We confuse charisma with competence. The spectacle mindset. In Jamaica, we love the politics of spectacle. It is the politics of spectacle why Siaga was kept in opposition and PJ in government. We talk about fresh spring. What a nonsense. Black man time, when the black man had the whip on your back. Black man time, spectacle. Michael Manley, they said, was charismatic. And he was running the country to the ground. And the people loved him. What can go so? The politics of charisma over the politics of competence. Holness is competent. May not be charismatic, but definitely competent. The scarcity mindset is number one. Number two is the spectacle mindset. And number three is the victim mindset. After centuries of no, you can't, and then 40 years of economic chaos, we built an identity around wound. We are small. We are poor. We are victims of IMF, victims of foreign power, victims of history. That mindset feels safe. Because if you're always the victim, you never have to be the builder. Accountability dies right there. If you are always a victim, then you don't have to be a builder. The mindset of being a victim. There are many Jamaicans today that are they're victims. They are victims, they say, of the, and I can't do any better. Heart is free. And some people will not get up and go to school. Heart is free. And some people will not get up and go to school because what? They are victims. They don't think they can do it. Somehow they were trained that my situation cannot change day by day, night by night. Provide me a meal for today and I'll be fine. Oh. That mindset, Holness, is dismantling. And here's how it is happening. I'm going to tell you how it is happening. Holness replaces scarcity with stewardship. Surplus isn't a Jamaican word. But now we are hearing about fiscal surplus, debt to GDP falling, credit ratings upgraded. Holness is providing something in the cupboard. He's proving that the cupboard is not bare. It was just looted. And when the books are clean, scarcity loses its power. You can't beg if the pantry is full. Scarcity with stewardship. Jamaica now can stand on its own. We never used to that. That's a mindset that is changing. Then the PNP are falling victims, you know. I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry for the comrades there. Holness replaces scarcity with stewardship, and then he replaces the spectacle with systems. No big speeches every week. When last have Holness given a national broadcast? You remember when other prime ministers used to give national broadcasts? No big speeches. Instead, NHT houses are going up, highways are being built, hospitals are being upgraded, schools are being repaired, systems are boring. But systems outlive slogans. The People's National Party is a party of slogans. The Jamaica Labour Party is into systems. He's teaching a country addicted to vibe that concrete beats charisma. Every finished project is an argument against performance politics. And finally, he replaces victimhood with agency. A son of the soil isn't a slogan. It's a thesis. If a boy from Spanish Town can master economics, respect global leaders, and rebuild the state, then this small island is no longer an excuse. It's a challenge. The man is shifting the story from look what they did to us to look what we are doing now. Look at us now. Agency is painful, my listeners. Agency demands work, but it is the only path to dignity. That's the dismantling, brick by brick, budget by budget, road by road, hospital by hospital. And as Mr. Bass said, bus after bus after bus after bus, the victimhood mentality is being replaced. Bus after bus after bus after bus. The man is replacing victimhood with agency. Wow. And that's why it hurts. Because when the mindset cracks, people have to choose. When the mindset cracks, people have to choose. It's either you stay comfortable in the old wound or step into the discomfort of building something new. I don't know if you have had well, there are mothers online, listen to me. You give birth. You give birth. I hear it is quite painful, eh? But may I ask you a question? If birth is so painful, why do you not stop at one child? Go and think about it. If birth is so painful, why women don't only have one child and stop? Say, no man, me now go back through this pain again. Why? If it hurts so much, why do it again? But I will tell you, motherhood, the joy of motherhood is greater than any pain you feel. And let me tell you this. When you pick that baby up in your hand at the hospital, and when that child cries, and when you see that child smile at you for the first time, whatever pain you feel in the process of birth, you forget it immediately. And by next year, you're pregnant again. We have to crack the mindset. step into the discomfort of building something new. Holness is not just governing, he's doing therapy. Prime Minister Holness is a therapist. Jamaica is being taken on a path of therapy. The shifting of the mindset is therapeutic on a national scale. Manchester, Clarendon, Sedan, Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, Portland, St. Mary, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Did I leave out any? It's a therapy that you're under. Jamaica, you're going through therapy. Therapy. 300 years of colonialism. Therapy. 40 years of mismanagement. Therapy. 18 and a half years of PNP worthlessness. Therapy. The psyche of the nation needs to be cleansed. We can do better. We must do better. We are better than this. We are Jamaicans. And we can build a country that we can all be proud of. But we have to eradicate the mindset that we can't do it. We can do it. It is therapy and it is painful, but we must stick with it. And Holness will not be overthrown, cannot be overthrown, because he is the therapist. He's not only Prime Minister, he's a therapist. Big up yourself, Andrew Holness. Keep doing the work of therapy. He's not only governing, he's doing therapy on a national scale. And therapy always feels like an attack. Right before it feels like freedom. Jamaica, all of a sudden you feel like you're under attack. But you're not under attack, you know. I hear Mr. Bunting down the parliament today talking a whole heap of crap. Mr. Bunting, your time come and gone. Go on home now. Your time come and gone. You don't know what you're talking about. Jamaica is being given medicine. Medicine. And if we stick with it, what a beautiful country is emerging. Right before freedom. But then I ask you, why did 401,000 people vote for Mark Golding? Why? Why did 401,000 people vote for Mark Golding? Yeah, Barry Gordon, I see you. I hear you. In the last election, the PNP led by Mark Golding pulled 401,000 votes. 401,000 Jamaicans walked into a booth and chose Mark Golding. Let that sit in. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to digest that. Barry Gordon, 401,090 people walked into a booth and put an X beside the head. Imagine that you are ill and you go to a doctor and the doctor is administering medication to you. You know that the medication is working, but you want to change the doctor? Why would you do that? Why would you be receiving medication that is helping you from your therapist, you see say you walk, you see say the therapist is doing well for you, but you change the therapist. Why? Why would you do that? Why? Let that sit in. 401,000 people went to the booth and they saw on the paper the bell, the therapist's bell. Well, you know something. Okay. Okay. Let's take a little break here and let's take a little break here and get back to this, because this is so interesting and important that I want you to.
Asking everyone to repost the live, please.
All right. All right. Playing this for Barry Gordon. Yeah. Listen to this, Barry.
Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember us, the man, we serve you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
All right, Barry Gordon, that's for you. It's 2 minutes after 9 o'clock, and time is going. Let me take my time, and I want you to stay with me. Tap the screen, share the live. In the last election, the PNP, led by Mark Golding, pulled 401,000 votes. 401,000 Jamaicans walked into the booth, saw the bell, and put their X beside the head. Let that sit with you for a minute. This is a man, Golding, whose party's history represents the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in modern Jamaican politics. FinSAC, the sell-off of national assets, decades where the small man lost land, lost savings, lost faith. Hear me carefully. Lost faith. While a connected few got richer. That's Mark Golding's record. And this is a man whose parents are British, colonial heritage, the very bloodline of empire that taught us we were meant to serve, not govern. The colonial bloodline of Mark Golding taught Jamaicans that we were not meant to own anything. We were meant to be laborers. The very system that wired dependency into our brains. 401,000 Jamaicans assent to it. We are a sellout people because we don't know our history. We have lost our identity. It is what you call in philosophy the master-slave dialectic. Playing out the real time. Playing out in real time. We claim to hate the master, but 401,000 people voted for the master's son to replace the son of the soil. Play the anthem again for me. Play it again.
Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember us, the man, till we serve you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell. Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember us, the man, till we serve you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
All right. Let's do that again. A man whose parents are British. British are colonial heritage. The very bloodline of the empire that taught us we were meant to serve. Black Jamaicans. Black Jamaicans. Black Jamaicans. Look at my face. I am a black man. And I'm not voting for no British man. Not doing it. My identity, and I'm not speaking about the PNP now. I'm speaking about history. I am not doing it. The very bloodline of the empire that taught us we were meant to serve. The very system that wired dependency into our brains. The master-slave dialectic was playing out in real time. We claim to hate the master. We claim to hate the master. But 401,000 Jamaicans voted for the master's son to replace the son of the soil. Why? Why? Because the mindset Holness is dismantling does not die quietly. Doesn't die quietly. And familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar progress. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar progress. Anxiety, they say, is the dizziness of freedom. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Freedom becomes dizzy when there is anxiety. And Mr. Holness offers freedom, fiscal freedom, structural freedom, agency. It's called ontological. It's about being, a defining of who you are. I want you to know tonight that you have been robbed of yourself. You have been robbed of yourself. That's why you go there voting PNP. And I'm not speaking about the politics of it, you know. I'm speaking about the psychology of it. Your being was robbed. Your freedom, you have not gotten it yet. But freedom is dizzying. It demands you change. Things that was trauma, but it was familiar trauma. And I will have you know that people will choose the devil they know over the discipline they don't understand. Let me repeat that. People will choose the devil they know over the discipline they don't understand. That's why people sit in relationships for years and think no better, no day. Some people think that no better, no day, you know. Nobody else don't want me. If me left him, nobody else don't want me. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Freedom is dizzying. People will choose the devil they know over the discipline they don't understand. 401,000 votes was a vote for the comfort of the wound. It was miscalculated, it was misinformed, it was misdirected. And if the PNP celebrate 401,000 votes, it's because they don't understand politics, they don't understand psychology, they don't understand philosophy. The 401 people were wounded. They are ill, at least the majority of them. Internalized inferiority. Internalized inferiority. For 300 years, British men educated, proper leadership material. Even after independence, the bias lingers in the subconsciousness of the Jamaican people. So when a British heritage man in a suit promises that he can fix things, part of the brain whispers, yes, yes, the British man can fix it. Even after his party broke things before. It's the colonial heritage that still reads quality. Quality to the colonized mind. Colonized minds are still on the island, being tricked and oppressed, and they don't even understand what is happening. And Holness, with his quiet grammar, doesn't get that recognition, because guess what? People say, him sound like me. Him a wanna we. A wanna we. How can wanna we fix we? That's what we ask. How can one of we fix we? Let me tell you something. Joseph had many brothers, and they sold him into slavery. They sold their own brother into slavery. Him a one away, so he can't do it. We bad mind our own genius into good, into bright, into ambitious. People criticize the man. He start a little taxi company, and people criticize. It's part of it. I tell you the truth. It's fascinating, you know. We still confuse proximity with powerlessness. And so sometimes to grow, you have to go. Sometimes to grow, you have to go. You have to leave from where you are. Sometimes you have to leave the very household. Your very family will hold you down. Your brothers and your sisters in your own house. Sometimes your mother and your father are your greatest enemy to your success. Left out of them house and go find something where else live. As long as you stay there, you can't prosper. Previous government set the standard so low that not stealing as much became the new integrity. PNP mismanagement normalized chaos. So when Holness brings order, people don't
Hello, good night, viewers. My apologies to you as neighbor has lost some power and he shall be back. He'll be back soon. You're on.
All right. All right, Jeffrey.
Good. The neighbor is back, everyone.
Am I back?
Yes, you are, neighbor.
Okay. Well, as I don't know what is happening. I don't know if I am back on YouTube. Um, I don't know if I'm back on YouTube just yet.
So yes, Demas, JPS needs some competition. That's pretty much what it is. Demas says JPS, Juice,
Yes,
they need some competition.
boy, I tell you, they're just cutting down they're just cutting off the service like this. Every little minute the service is gone. You can't even broadcast anything straight. Okay, I don't know what is happening here. I don't think I am back on TikTok just yet. No, they say that is weak.
You
Okay,
sound good on YouTube. I'll go check
I'm back on
TikTok and
YouTube.
see how that is.
Okay, well, I hope that this thing here will restore what I have. Uh, okay. I don't know if I am on. I don't know. Da, 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 da. All right. Boy, I tell you, we've had problems tonight. Let me know if you're hearing me again. We people have to get a backup generator for the program we're going to do a marathon next month. I agree, Daphne. This we have to come off the JPS power grid because the program is being sabotaged. Sabotage are going tonight. I tell you. We're back here now though. Hello, everyone. Hearing me? Great. Let me know if you're hearing me. Let me know if you are hearing me with this sabotaging of the electricity. I don't know who is cutting me off. Ah, boy. Da 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 da. No sound, no neighbor. Okay. All right. Yeah. Tell me. You hearing me? Okay. All right. Let's. Shafrina, you hearing me? Shafreen?
Just a moment, neighbor. I am still checking.
Okay. Can yeah. Okay. 24 after 9 o'clock. This is our second disruption. We want to thank you for staying with us. Thank you for staying with us tonight. And please, we're back. We're back. No fault of ours. We use the electricity from the Jamaica Public Service Company, and we have been having some power disruption since night. And of course, when the power goes, so does the internet. So that's what is happening to us here now. All right. So
You sound great on TikTok, neighbor.
and I'm okay on YouTube.
Yes, you are.
All right, great. So let me tell you that previous governments set very low standard. PNP mismanagement normalized chaos. Normalized chaos.
Please share the live, everyone.
So when Holness brings order, people don't celebrate order. People don't celebrate order, you know. They distrust order. It can't be real. No Jamaican government is this boring and effective. 401,000 votes was not a vote for Golding's policies. They didn't vote for Golding's policies. It was a vote for the old script. Jamaica wanted to return to the old script. The familiar is a sellout. The script where policies is war. The script where economics is magic. The script where leaders must bleed publicly to prove they care. That's the old colonial script. That's why the people aren't yet more supportive of Holness. Because he's not just running against a party. Hear me carefully. The Prime Minister is not just running against the PNP. The Prime Minister is running against 300 years of conditioning and 40-odd years of normalized failure. I want to repeat that. Please share this live. Thousands of Jamaicans should have been listening to this program tonight to understand the politics, to understand what is happening in Jamaica. Andrew Holness is not running against the PNP. The PNP is not no party. They are no challenge. They have no ideas. They have no policies. They have no leader. They have nothing. Nothing. PNP cannot challenge Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness is running against 300 years of conditioning and 40-odd years of normalized failure. You don't rewrite a nation's psychology in one term. You do not rewrite a nation's psychology in one term. It is not done in 2 terms. It is not done in 3 terms. It's not done in 4 terms. That's only 20 years. It's not done in 5 terms. That's only 25 years. That's 2.5 generations. It wants 4 generations. That's 40 years. It will take 40 years of going forward for us to rewrite the psychology of Jamaica. Be patient with the Prime Minister. I beg you. And I implore the Prime Minister tonight to be patient with himself. Andrew, be patient with yourself. You are doing very well, sir. Very, very well. You don't rewrite a nation's psychology in one term. You do it term by term, road by road, surplus by surplus, bus by bus, road by road, hospital by hospital, school by school, heart by heart, one by one. The nation is being transformed. And let me tell you something. And here is the crux of the matter. The PNP will not have 401,000 voting for them at the next election. They will not. And here is why they won't. The mirror will prove the magic. You hear what I said? The mirror will prove the magic. The 401,000 will shrink when the mirror stops being scary. Right now, the mirror is scary. When Jamaicans stop asking, who will save us? And start asking, what will we build now that we are free? It's a paradox between freedom and responsibility. The PNP is not going to suffer because they don't have policies, you know. They're going to be suffering because the mindset of Jamaicans is being changed. That's what's going to hit them hard. Holness is betting the next election won't be about personalities. It will be about proof. Hear me carefully. The next election will not be about personalities. The fourth term will not be about personality. Andrew Holness is known. It will be about proof. And proof dismantles mindset faster than any speech could ever. There's a time in history when mirror becomes the window. When the mirror becomes the window. Harry, jump on YouTube for me. I only have another 29 minutes. When people realize Holness is greatness, the answer is uncomfortable but true, you know. People realize greatness after the pain of the old mindset becomes greater than the fear of the new one. I hope my language here is fit for prime time. But a virgin fears sex the first time. She begins to enjoy it after that. The thing she feared becomes the thing she likes. Wow. People realize greatness after the pain of the old mindset becomes greater than the fear of the new one.
Listeners, could you please remove the repost and repost again for me, please? Thanks. So press the white arrow, remove repost, and then press it again and repost.
That is why the PNP is going to suffer defeat after defeat. Because the mind will start enjoying pleasure. The pain will be removed, and Jamaicans will start seeing the reality, and they will not go back. It's a God thing. You don't understand it. You're going to hate me tonight, but that's why I'm going to have to tell you the truth. It's a God thing. There is a transformation happening in Jamaica, and it is happening from the spiritual realm. It's not only physical, it is spiritual. You shall live to see it. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and your Holness. God send you, and you shall complete this task. It's not about partisan politics. It's not about election. It's about setting the people of Jamaica free. It's cognitive dissonance resolution. Right now, 401,000 people are holding two thoughts. Things are better under Holness, but yet I voted PNP. That tension can't last forever. The brain hates contradiction. So it will pick one. Either deny the improvement or admit the vote was wrong. And when that realization hits Jamaica after Nara, when the realization hits Jamaica after Nara, not from speeches, from proof, stacking up until denial becomes impossible. You can deny the progress as much as you want. There is going to come a time in Jamaica when you cannot deny that the schools are fixed, the hospitals are better, the roads are better, people's pockets are beginning to feel, minimum wage is high, crime is down, and the country is peaceful. The markets are looking nice. Taxis and buses and all over Jamaica is looking like a first world country. That is reality. You can deny it as much as you want now, but there comes a time when reality beats denial. That's politics for you. That's the politics of chess. That's the politics of changing a mindset. That's the politics that is on in Jamaica, and it's taking some time, but I want you to understand it tonight, that the politics of reality will hit Jamaica over the next couple of years, and no one will be able to deny it. And the politics of reality will result in a landslide for the Jamaica Labour Party. Landslide. Mark my word tonight. Write it down. I tell it to you. Even PNP people are going to start voting Labour, because tribal politics in Jamaica will be dismantled by reality. You do not talk your enemies into submission. You prove them. Prove them. You know boxing? You know boxing? You know, before boxing, the boxers can chat, you know. They talk up the fight. But the real boxing is in the ring, when the blows start to flow. And when the roads start built, and when the markets start to be repaired, and when all the good things for Jamaican start coming to place, and when people go to the hospitals and they get through, and the services have improved, you can't deny that. When will it happen? When will it happen? It happens at the tipping point. That's a fantastic book written by Malcolm Gladwell. Michael Gladwell wrote a book that is called The Tipping Point. Jamaica is getting near to the tipping point. Listen to me carefully. The tipping point is when the systems touch the daily lives. When the systems touch the daily lives of people, you can't ignore it. There's a song that says, when the music hit you, you feel no pain. When the music hit you, you feel no pain. Have you ever pursued a girl that don't like you? Have you ever? You like this girl and you going after her and she just pretending as if say she hard to get. And then finally she give in it. When it hit you, you feel no pain. When your mother gets her surgery at the new hospital, not waiting on the list. When it hits you, you feel no pain. The girl is planning, oh, she's so hard to get you. You invite her out. She says, oh, I'm not coming. Say, girl, come and stay with me. No, I can't. Can't come. She pretending as if to say no. And then finally you crack it, brother. And you have her lying down there beside you and you say, in your mind, you don't tell her, you don't tell it to her, you say, oh my goodness gracious, look here now, all of this are for me, this girl here, where when I play so hard to get, all of a sudden she said, "Oh boy, I tell you, look at all of this that I'm getting." Give me a second.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember, Bustamante, we serve you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
All right. Okay. So that's that, and we come here and cool on that and come back over here. Yep, we're wrapping up. Yeah, you feel no pain, brother. Hits you when it hits you, you feel no pain. What a night for you. What a night for you. You just smile and said, wow. Good things come to those who wait. Yeah, go wait. It's a tipping point. When your son's school has Wi-Fi labs, when the STEM schools are built, when teachers have improved facilities and smart board to work on in their schools, when your light bill drops because the LNG project is online and the renewables replace expensive oil, when your community doesn't hear gunshots every night because there is peace in Jamaica, when finally we are pothole free, not in 2003, but we drive on good roads, when you call the fire service and it responds, and you go to the market and the markets are nice, clean, lovely. You go to the hospitals and they are lovely and nice, and the clinics are lovely, and you said smart cities all over the place and jobs, and we have a GDP per capita of $10,000 and Jamaicans are enjoying a better life. Can't deny that. Parks for our kids, my sister. Everyone have a decent house, driving nice cars. Police stations are lovely. Police can open up themselves. They don't have to worry about crime. Systems of education. Students are going to the university. Visas, you can go to America without having to struggle for a visa because Jamaican is a prosperous society. When you drive through Spanish Town, you don't see dirty water on the streets. You see the streets clean. The municipal corporations are tip-top and everything is beautiful. Huh? You can't deny that. You cannot deny that. Greatness stops being an idea and it becomes a lived experience. The lived experience of Jamaicans will be greatness are here. You cannot deny that. That's when the mindset breaks. Not before. Not before. And may I say to you, that's what Holness is doing. That's what he's doing. The surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those he thinks alike and those who think differently. Holness must keep thinking differently. I'm going to suggest 3 things that Holness must do. I know he's doing them already, but I'm going to put it to you. 1, double down on boring. Results over rhetoric, Holness. Results over rhetoric. Holness must keep thinking differently. Less talk, more completion dates. Let every new road, school, hospital be the argument. The mindset change when people stop hearing promises and start touching results. Double down. Results over rhetoric. Let the others talk, Mr. Holness. You keep working, working, working. The people must start touching the results. Build them the clinics, Mr. Holness. Fix their schools. Fix their roads. Continue to provide them jobs. Equip the police and the hospitals and the fire station. Do the work. No more no talking. Be quiet. Don't respond to all them rhetoric. Don't respond to them rubbish. No have to keep no press conference and respond to them. Double down on boring. Results over rhetoric. Ribbon fi cut, sir. Then just a walk a cut ribbon. Then just a walk a cut ribbon. Cut ribbon, sir. Secondly, name the mindset directly without contempt. You can't heal what you can't name. Mr. Holness must keep holding up the mirror. Hold up the mirror. Hold it up as a teacher. Don't do it like a judge. Hold it up as a teacher. Tell them, I know why you are skeptical. We were trained to expect failure. Let me show you why this time is different. That's what is called the Socratic leadership. Asking the nation questions until it answers itself. Name the mindset directly. Hold up the mirror before Jamaicans. Lift up the mirror before them. Show them what they can become. Yes, some will push back against it, but hold it up before them. Andrew, hold up the mirror. And finally, create ownership, not dependency. The colonial mindset says, leader, fix it for me. The solution is citizens, build with me. That is the mantra, Andrew. Build with me. The greatest teachers are not the ones that say, here is how it is done. The greatest teachers are the one who says, let's do it together. Create ownership, Andrew Holness. Don't create dependency. Resist the politics of the dependency and create ownership. That's what you are doing. Holness must keep pulling people into the project. Housing applications, community policing, hard training, youth in agriculture. When people build, they believe. You don't inherit a nation's psychology. You participate in changing it. Create ownership, not dependency. And I will leave you with this. The solution is time, truth, and touch. The solution is truth, time, and touch. Mindsets do not shift in 4 years. They shift with time. Time. Truth, touch. Let me break them down for you. Mindsets do not shift in 4 years. It needs time. Holness is playing chess. Politics wants checkers. Holness is playing chess. He is building for the future. The PNP is building for the local government election. I will tell you this. The PNP is lost, you know. A checkers them a play. They are focusing on the local government election. Holness is focusing on 2030, 2035, 2040. Time is the master. Secondly, truth. Tell the people the truth. Tell them about the past, about FinSac, about the debt, about the chaos. Here is where the bloggers come in. Bloggers, your message should be, look what we left behind. Don't let history be rewritten. Truth is the disinfectant for nostalgia. Truth is the disinfectant for nostalgia. History must not be rewritten. The people must be told the truth. And finally, touch. Time, truth, and touch. Get the results where the people can feel them. Don't talk about progress. People should be able to feel them. You see this book? You see this book that you print, Andrew? These are not things that are buried in a grave. They are things that people can feel. Well, I could give you some advice as to how to make people can feel this. Okay? Touch. They must be able to touch this. That's why long distance relationships don't work. Because no matter how you can do it over the phone, no matter how you good and you can do it over the phone, there comes a time when you want to touch it. You want to kind of feel for yourself. All right. Touch. Get the results where people can feel them. Feel them in their pockets. Feel them in their clinics. Feel them in their streets. Feel them at the hospitals. Feel it on the road. Abstract GDP means nothing if your belly is still empty. Concrete results means everything. Feel it in the water projects. Feel it in them pipes. Feel it on them light bill. Time, truth, touch. That's the full answer. The people will realize Holness greatness when the Jamaican he's building becomes the only Jamaica they know. It's a shift. The people will realize how great Andrew Holness is when the Jamaica they live in is the only Jamaica they know. When that happens, then Jamaica stops meaning broken and start means building. He doesn't need to become louder. He needs to keep becoming clearer. Clearer. Because one day, the mirror won't just expose us. It will show us. We will not be exposed by the mirror. We will be seen in it. And we'll see a nation that finally stop begging and start building. And that day is coming, brick by brick. Before I go to Scratchy. Okay, let's go to Scratchy because I think I have gone long and hard tonight. And I hope you appreciate. I have lots more to say on this, lots more to say on this, but my time has been exhausted. I want to thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for bearing with us through all the technical challenges from the loss of power and all of that. Let's see if we can use give each of our analysts 10 minutes to give us their own reflection. Harry, Scratchy, you go first. Hello.
Definitely, neighbor. Wonderful neighbor.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful monologue, neighbor. Well said. Everything well said. I'm fine as usual. Well said, neighbor.
Yes. Scratchy, the breaking the wounds of the past, the building of the nation. I spent a little time looking at this today, Scratchy, and I have come to the realization that Holness is a heck of a leader, And Scratchy, when I look across the world, I don't see anyone that I couldn't compare him to in terms of his capacity and what he's able to do. He's a world-class leader.
Definitely, neighbor. We have a world-class prime minister, neighbor. We have a prime minister who knows how to get things done. And we have a prime minister, neighbor, that not just only knows how to get things done, neighbor, but knows exactly what needs to be done, neighbor. And we have seen him for the last 10 years, neighbor. He has showed us his style, he has showed us his class. Whenever he travel overseas, neighbor, we see the type of respect the prime minister come on. Whether it's within CARICOM or outside of CARICOM, neighbor.
Yes.
The prime minister was recently invited to a lot of summits or a lot of world meetings, neighbor, where a lot of the prime ministers of Jamaica, neighbor, wasn't invited or afforded a chance to attend those type of forums, And Jamaica alone, neighbor, managed to make himself present and managed to gain some kind of invitation, neighbor, to be present at those world forums, neighbor, whether it's on the UN part, whether it's on the World Bank part, neighbor, whether it's on G20, G7, all of these nations, neighbor, these powerful groups, neighbor, they saw it fit, neighbor, to invite the prime minister of a small developing nation like Jamaica to come, neighbor, and either add to what he has, add to his take or something, neighbor. And that is the result, neighbor, of his good stewardship, neighbor, of the country, neighbor. When you say other international or big economic country, neighbors can look at a small Jamaica. When they invite us to those things, neighbor, it is in a technical way saying to us that yes, we applaud you, we respect the efforts that you have made, and we congratulate you by inviting you to be a part of this summit with the 7 or the 20 most powerful economies in the world. For you get a more advanced understanding of how advanced economy work and stuff like that. And so honest, neighbor, definitely, neighbor, as outclass many, neighbor, he has also shook a lot of them, neighbor. The expectation, they didn't saw him to be this in his first tenure, neighbor, when he became prime minister at about 37 or 38 years old, neighbor, a very young prime minister, the youngest one of the youngest in our history. And when they saw him at that time, neighbor, he was underestimated, neighbor. Youthful exuberance got the better of him at that time, but he was underestimated. They didn't saw him, neighbor, to be any form of political threat. They didn't see him as a political giant. And I believe that
Scratchy, could you please speak a little louder? They're not hearing on YouTube.
Okay. So yes, neighbor, I was saying now, neighbor. So when you see him, neighbor, and those type of front, neighbor, they definitely know that Jamaica Holness, neighbor, is someone, neighbor, who he has done a whole lot for the development of Jamaica over the last 10 years, neighbor. He has rapidly change Jamaica, neighbor. We have never seen drastic change like this so fast, neighbor. Under one prime minister, neighbor, in the history of our country, neighbor.
Yes.
So definitely, neighbor, a great leader, a great man.
Yeah. I made the point earlier, Scratchy, that Holness holds up a mirror in front of us. A mirror that we probably are uncomfortable with. A mirror that says to us, we are without excuse. In other words, if I from Spanish Town can do this, then non-Jamaican is without excuse. And that dismantles the whole dependency politics, Scratchy, where our people look to politicians to provide them with handouts. Holness is saying, I can prepare the environment for you, but you need to get up and do that. Now, that mindset is taking a time to break in Jamaica. But I'm also pointing out that it's going to happen, Scratchy.
Yeah, but it will definitely reach to that point, neighbor. The biggest role model in Jamaica, neighbor, any youth or anyone, neighbor, is Jamaica Holness in Jamaica, neighbor.
Yes.
There's no other one, neighbor. There's no other role model, neighbor, who you can say outmatch Jamaica Holness. And this is not to take away from any of our great Jamaicans, neighbor, whether they are musicians, whether they are persons who partake in sports. We must understand, neighbor, that yes, despite being a sportsman, neighbor, it has come with some form of talent that you were born with, neighbor.
Yes.
Despite being a musician, neighbor, it also comes with some form of talent with what you're born with, neighbor. So when someone, neighbor, coming from where Jamaica Holness is coming from, neighbor, and excel to the highest office, neighbor, of the land, neighbor, in terms of the prime minister, neighbor, that is definitely a roadmap, neighbor, that's set in stone for all other youths, neighbor, can see as an example and say, okay, it's not because you come from here, you cannot be defined. I said it yourself because I come from here, so I can't come from no, I can't come to no. The prime minister, the current prime minister come from Spanish Town. The current prime minister neighbor said that him and his mother walk or come from school or from work with his mother, and it's a gunshot to fire them for run. So the find neighbor say the blueprint neighbor for Jamaica Holness neighbor is definitely a true success story, neighbor, and it's one that neighbor should be documented. I think that is one that should have some form of documentary 3-part series, 4-part series, neighbor, because we have never seen this in the history of our politics, neighbor. We're an average Jamaican neighbor who grew up, neighbor, in the same plight and sufferation, neighbor, and understand what it is, neighbor, to go to school without lunch money and stuff like that. Who also understand, neighbor, what it is to owe a student loan.
Yes.
You know, I don't think probably any other prime minister in our history, neighbor, who had to borrow or use student loan to a certain extent, neighbor. Even while they were in government, neighbor, they still with that loan or something, but Holness, neighbor, is something about that young man, neighbor. Something about him, neighbor, is the true success story, neighbor. When you talk about success story, neighbor, it is Jamaica Holness, neighbor. But a lot of persons, neighbor, they don't want to highlight Holness part, or the media, they don't want to highlight Holness part, neighbor. They don't want to highlight Holness success stories. You don't see the journalists taking him upon them and trying to go back into the prime minister primary school or the prime minister high school and try to put on a Sunday series on the favorite TV station. They are not doing that, neighbor, because it's an overall plan by them, neighbor, to not let us know or see that it is possible for us to hold those high office, neighbor. And Holness escaped, neighbor, and showed us that it is poverty and we should not be limited by where we come from, and we should not be limited by our living condition, neighbor, and we should not be limited, neighbor, by our ethnicity, whether we are black or white, neighbor. And Jamaica Holness, neighbor, has defeated the odds, neighbor, and rise to the highest office of the land.
Yes, and then Scratchy, the whole matter of the fact that Holness is not running against the People's National Party per se. He's running against the mindset of Jamaicans. This mindset that somehow we cannot do any better. That is what he is taking on, and that's part of the challenge. And I think if we understand the politics from that mindset, Scratchy, we will realize how phenomenal he is doing in shifting mindsets. To have won 3 terms in Jamaica is no mean feat, you know, Scratchy.
Never. One of the biggest shifts that Jamaica Holness has made, neighbor, since he become Prime Minister of Jamaica, neighbor. And a lot of persons look at it, neighbor, as nothing. A lot of persons don't highlight it as nothing, as much, neighbor. Neighbor, Jamaica Holness, neighbor, has given Jamaicans, or more, or because of Jamaica Holness, neighbor, more Jamaicans, neighbor, have become more understanding are more appreciating, neighbor, the word that we call economy, neighbor. A lot of Jamaicans usually hear this word economy, neighbor, and didn't have the basic understanding of what is economy and how the economy works, neighbor. And Andrew Holness, neighbor, since he has become Prime Minister, neighbor, he has sing like a Sankey on that word, neighbor. He has cemented that word across the length and breadth of Jamaica, neighbor. Never before in the history of Jamaica, neighbor, we see where Jamaicans sit down so much in numbers and rush to YouTube and have media's neighbor to try to see the budget presentation. Never before, neighbor. That is as a result, neighbor, of Andrew Michael Holness, neighbor. And now he has taught the economy. He talk about the importance of the economy, neighbor. He showed us and tell us, neighbor, that anything that we want and nothing that we want, it cannot be done unless the economy grow, neighbor.
Yes.
He bring it down to the smallest level where even the common man, neighbor, Andrew Holness, over the past 10 years, has got the Jamaicans to be more appreciative and have a lot more understanding of what is the term economy and how the economy has worked, neighbor. And that is one of his biggest things that he has done. When they talk about mindset, there's a lot more to come, neighbor. This Prime Minister, neighbor, is also, neighbor, that is not all about politics, neighbor.
Yes.
He's not playing the politics with the comrades, neighbor. Andrew Holness, neighbor, you can see that this man genuinely wants to see change. And when they talk about change, I'm not just talking about infrastructural change, neighbor,
yes,
that the country so desperately need. I'm talking about changing how persons think.
Yes.
Changing how persons see life, neighbor. Persons changes how persons want to, how persons see crime and violence as something easy that you could just go in and you could usually easily cheat the system and escape. And now, you know, so he's giving persons, neighbor, Andrew Holness is what Prime Minister, neighbor, that Jamaica wanted, and he came at the right time. And a lot of us, you know, don't appreciate him. A lot of Jamaicans, neighbor, they try to bash him. They try to class him, neighbor. We see right now where there is one female in the parliament, neighbor, who is trying to attack the Prime Minister, attack the Prime Minister's wife, or the Speaker of the House, Juliet Holness, neighbor.
Yes.
But that I haven't spoken about her, neighbor, because I'm not in the business, neighbor, trying to talk about find a female. I talk bad about anyone, neighbor, but sometimes, neighbor, you have to just substitute things, and you have to just be honest and speak the truth, neighbor. Her approach, very distasteful, very disrespectful, neighbor. And I will warn her, neighbor, because she's a young lady, she's a very new politician, neighbor, and she's embarking up a tree, neighbor, that she cannot climb. Because her aim, and what she's trying to destine for, neighbor, is she's trying to be seen, neighbor, as the beauty queen, neighbor, of the parliament, neighbor, but not realizing, neighbor, that we have had a beauty queen and even a world queen in no other than Lisa and neighbor. Who I don't think any other politician can outshine, neighbor. We all know how Lisa look when Lisa dressed, whether you're PNP or you're Labour, right? You have to be honest and say, Lisa dressed with some form of class, beautiful and very beautiful black woman, neighbor.
Yes.
So she lost that contest. Neighbor, because there's no way she can be matched to a Lisa. Because neighbor, beauty is not just about figure. You know, and to win something, neighbor, like Miss World, neighbor, it's not just about figure, it's about brains. Because you have to answer certain type of questions as well. So you look at her popularity, neighbor. She's trying to push certain things narrative so that she can get interviews and stuff like that. Not realizing, neighbor, that she will never ever be the most popular female politician. Or even more female politician on the PNP side, Portia Simpson Miller, neighbor, will remain the most popular female politician in the history of Jamaica and the most popular female on the PNP side. So she's embarking up to losing avenues, neighbor. But I will just warn her, neighbor, that young bud no storm. You're a politician. Control yourself and just try to be calm and easy, neighbor, because I can tell you, neighbor, but based on her rhetoric and her style, neighbor, this is her last term. This is her one term. She's going to be one of those one term, neighbor. Just one term, one go, neighbor. We're going to push her out, man. We're campaign against her hard and strong, neighbor, man.
Well, yeah. Fantastic. Let me jump over to YouTube where I find Member Harry. Member Harry, how you doing?
I'm doing good, neighbor. You know.
Your opening thoughts, member.
Well, neighbor, it's a very hard act to follow you tonight, you know.
Really? Well,
but
yes.
It's a tectonic shift in which
No, you're getting warm, sir.
So because I'm a little geoman as well, you know, neighbor, and
yes.
I would love to borrow that term tonight, you know.
Yes.
But in the metaphorical sense, it's a tectonic shift in which Mr. Holness is seeking to achieve.
Uh-huh.
And just like how plates move, and sometimes you have a collision course.
Yes.
The collision course that we've been experiencing is what you spoke about, the mirror, right?
Yes.
Hold the mirror up in front of the persons and Jamaicans, let them see what their biases are, what they've been trained for decades and centuries. And those biases and those learned behaviors that we've clinged to is on the collision course with where we ought to be going.
And with our reality.
And with that, right. So when those two collide, neighbor, you have a decision to make.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it is that it is, and I wish I could have shown a visual, but when these plates come together, it creates a cone, like a volcanic coming up. So there's a birth for something new.
Yes.
And that new thing that is being birthed is one in which Jamaica needs to embrace, because it's going to be the new Jamaica that is created.
In other words, there is going to come a time when we cannot deny our reality.
You cannot. And because what is being birthed is what you can touch. And touch in this case, neighbor, you can see it, you live it.
Yes.
Wow. You can taste it because you taste success.
Yes.
And you know, one of the beautiful thing about it, you can create legacies from it.
We are living the experience.
We're living what we should have had decades ago, neighbor.
Yes, and am I not correct that when that reality happens, when you go to the polls, you just cannot not but vote for yourself?
Exactly. Because
in that regard, the Labour Party stands to win several terms going forward. Once they get this right.
Because what is happening, you know, is a repositioning by Holness in the mental state of and psychological state for the people of Jamaica to choose themselves again. Now, we know the slogan that was run with on September 3rd, choose Jamaica.
Yes.
But really and truly, you know, neighbor, when you choose Jamaica, you choose yourself. You choose the development that you want to see. And what that in turn does is you become the change that you have always wanted to see.
What a brilliant analysis. Yeah.
My alma mater, neighbor, has a saying: greatness is born here. Excellence lives here.
Yes.
And I'm extending it to Jamaica as a whole, because that is what we need to create again. Right?
Yes.
Initially, when we gained our independence, it was a great time. We saw greatness. We were a set of people positioned to be exceptional, but never lived it. It never matriculated. But this is the opportunity. As we say, it's a second bite of the cherry, neighbor, that we're getting with Mr. Holness. And we have to cling to it. We have to hold to it. And don't let it go. Give it the chance. Give it the patience. Give it the work ethic that it deserves.
Sorry. And the time, Harry.
Switch from
the time. Neighbor,
the time.
If we can give, and I'm saying we, I mean, I didn't give the People's National Party the 18 years, but I'm saying we as a collective. If we gave them 18 and a half years to rip apart the country, that's the worst time ever in our modern history, post-independence. Why can't we give somebody who is doing something right at least the same time to get it done properly?
Correct.
It is, neighbor,
and
after a while, success gets boring, you know.
This is not a political argument you are making.
No, neighbor. It is just the reality. And it is the truth. It is not my truth. It is not your truth, neighbor. It's not scratchy truth. It is not politics plus network truth. It is the truth.
Absolutely correct.
And the opposition, unfortunately for democracy, has no way to play the part of that development. They are just not equipped to do so. But what they are equipped to do is to fight for the power to derail it. And you have to choose yourself. And in choosing yourself, it is not to take a $50,000, go vote and derail the success of Jamaica and the potential that it can get for the next 5 years. Choose what you want to see. And when you choose what you want to see, or in the moment to choose it, look in the mirror. Is what you're choosing the bias that you know? The bias that you've been trained, right? Or is it the change that you've always wanted to see? You're becoming it. And you mentioned it a few nights ago, neighbor, and nights before that as well. We have to be okay with planting seeds for trees that we will never get the shade. You have to, our forefathers, when they fought, they knew they were never going to come and see these legacies. But they did it anyway because it is the right thing to do. It was not a selfish state of mind. It was a collective decision. It was a unification. And it was anything is better than what we've experienced. And that will bring us to greater freedom. You get better choices. And that is the truth of the matter. No, you have to do, when you look at it, neighbor, as let me go back to the tectonic shift. Yes. When you do these things together, you create a Jamaica. Yes, some of us are going to experience it. Some of us may not. But you know what you can do, neighbor, for those who may end up in the grave, you can go home peacefully to know you did all that you could have done to ensure Jamaica advance, not as individual, not power hunger, but as a collective nation, making big strides on a global scale. You can take pride in knowing you contributed to it. You were a link in the chain. You were a rail for the train to run, right? That is what we have to accept. And we can't have this self-interest aspect. This time does not cater to that. Yes. You can't think about yourself. You can't think about the fact that it doesn't come to my doorstep, so I'm okay. No. It will find your doorstep one way or the other. FinSac, we never lose a business in a FinSac, neighbor, but guess what? The debt is at our doorstep. Generations to come still have that debt to pay, right? So we have to think of the medium to long term, not what I can get now. Get out of the survival mindset, because the mirror is going to show that we're in survival mode when the truth is we're not. And you're on that collision course where your reality says you are not in survival mode. But guess what? Your bias, your sensory organs will say, listen, I'm going to stick with the Eve that I know. Change is inevitable. You change or you die.
Hold on there for me, Harry. Listeners, want to thank you for the support. Want to thank you for tuning into the program tonight. But we want you to know that your support is what keeps the program going. We don't have sponsors, we don't have sponsorship, and we need the support of our listeners. This is a listener-supported show, a listener-supported program. I'm going to ask you now if you are mindful, if you are interested in supporting us, that our Zelle account is 954-635-8732. That's 954-635-8732. If you are on YouTube and you are watching from overseas, it is coming across your screen right now. We also have a Cash App, and of course, we are asking you to take a minute out of your busy night while you listen to the program to remember that it is your program and that your support is necessary, and that we value it. So far, we have done 1 year and 3 months. This show is just 1 year and 3 months, and we could not have come here without the support of our very loyal listeners. I know that things may not even be strong on your end, but the little you do keeps the Politics Plus network going. So I'm going to ask you, please, 954-635-8732. If you are on TikTok, that's the Zelle account, 954-635-8732. One other thing that we need on this program, we have been doing some expansion, and I want to thank those persons who have contributed. My moderator, don't listen to what you hear out there. She has been very supportive of ensuring that we have more comfortable space and more comfortable equipment to broadcast. Can I tell you a little something? The Labour Party conference is coming up in November, and we would love to cover it in a particular way. Daphne, thank you so much, Daphne. We are yet to complete a little bit of delay, but we soon sort that out, and we soon let you know exactly what is happening. One other thing we need is a backup power supply. If you notice tonight, when the power went, we had to stay offline. We need to be able to have a backup supply of power. So I'm going to ask you tonight to, it is what you have. No one is making any demand of you that you don't have. 954-635-8732. Again, 954-635-8732. If you are on YouTube, the number is going across your screen. The reason why I am pausing to do it is because it becomes very, very important at this time. We don't do this often, but I think we have to make an effort to do this tonight. So I'm going to go back to Harry. It's 23 minutes after 10 o'clock. I want my TikTokers to, if you can't do anything on the Zelle, send a gift. If it's even a rose, it helps. If it's even a rose, a donut. We're not asking you to send a lion if you can't afford it. What we are saying to you is that every little make a muckle. Want to thank Neville. Thank you so much, Neville, for your contribution. Want to thank good girl Diane. Diane, from the program start, I have looked at a lot of things, and you have been a fantastic supporter. Neville, thank you, Neville. Yes, Widex, Jamaica Princess. Well, see, I'm starting to call names, and it's becoming a problem. But no problem. I think that your support is very, very necessary tonight. I'm going to beg you tonight. If you can't do it tonight, then do it tomorrow or Friday, or do it this week. Important for you to chip in this week with something to help us go on here. So again, 954-635-8732. That's 954-635-8732. 954-635-8732. If you are on YouTube, then the information is going across your screen. Help us to stay on the air. help us to improve our products to you, help us to come here night after night and give you the type of program that we really want to do. We definitely want to improve our production quality, and we are going to do that very, very soon. We want to be able to do that. We're not ashamed. We are not ashamed to ask our listeners to support us. We're not ashamed at all. We don't give a rat about anybody who say what we do. We know what we do, and we're putting it out to our listeners that we need help. We need help to go forward, and we're asking you to chip in and do something for the Politics Plus network. All right. Let me go back to Harry. So Harry.
Yes, neighbor.
Yes. The whole matter that Holness is not just governing, and this is where I think the PNP is falling flat. You see, they are attacking Holness, but really, what Holness is quietly doing is therapy on a national scale. In other words, Jamaica is healing, and the more Jamaica heals, Harry, the more the PNP will suffer.
Of course, neighbor. Yeah. You see, the thing about it, they can't attack the healing process. They can't, because if they do, the people will take it personal.
Yes.
Right? So what they do is they try to find the source that's creating that healing.
Yes.
And if they can disrupt it, because it starts from disruption and then create distractions to then get into destruction. And I'm not trying to wordplay here, but
say that again. Say that again.
So they start with the level of distraction, neighbor, right?
Yes.
In order to ensure that they go for the source. Now, when they do that, they go in to destroy. So they go from distraction to ensure that they can cause a level of destruction to the source of that healing. Now, what people need to understand, and this is why I drew on the tectonic shift, neighbor. It is a deep, monumental change. It's a permanent change at that in the ideologies and the foundational ideologies for Jamaica. What that does in the process and at the end result, it changes or it redraws Jamaica's landscape in several ways. Philosophically, psychologically for those who would have been hurting from the 90s, right?
But by the way, pause there, Harry. You can forgive the people for misreading what they are feeling and for voting in ignorance, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yes, and therefore, if these people, if the therapy keeps being applied to them, you expect that they will change their vote. And that is where the PNP, I think, is in trouble.
Exactly. So what then happens in a neighbor, right? This transformation, like I said, we're going to see it happen physically, psychologically.
Yes.
Right? We're going to see it emotionally. He has already started this one. The political landscape change.
The politics is changing in Jamaica, no question.
Significantly, neighbor.
Yeah.
Right? Because the back and forth, the me disrespect you, that is not a thing of the day, specifically. And what has happened is that people have been drawn to it now to say, listen, this is a civilized manner of how to operate. Because at the end of the day, after every election, this is our brothers and sisters, no matter what happens.
Yes.
So we can't have this barbaric and tribalistic view that is slowly dying, right? And that started in the political landscape with Andrew Holness. If you look at it,
the shift in the politics, he is at the heart of it.
He's at the heart of it, neighbor, and that is why they are fighting tooth and nail to try and remove him. Because what that then does in a neighbor, It changes the next one that I'm speaking on, power dynamics. It moves the people from thinking that the politician is ahead of them, that the politician controls everything, and put back the power in the hands of the people to say, listen, I can choose me. And if I choose me, I choose Jamaica. And if Jamaica is chosen, so does development, so does advancement.
The tribe is going to be left behind, Harry.
Exactly.
The tribe is going to be left behind. The nation is going to move away from tribalism, so the tribe is going to be left behind. And they are already in the minority. They have suffered 3 election defeat, and they have not realized that Jamaica has moved on. Infomedia said it. He's correct.
He is. Right? And the thing about it, neighbor, the new generation that's coming, they're going to be the difference makers. And as such, the politics that they're growing up around, the People's National Party can't come with their type. That is foreign to them. It is not something that they ascribe to. It's not something they even want to know about, because they see it, neighbor, as you wanting to disrupt and destroy their own unification. It is not, they're going to look at it as backward thinking. And that is where Andrew Holness is winning this war. He's not out there spewing in misinformation and disinformation. No. He's edifying. And those who may not be in the direct line of edification, they're in the direct line of programs like this, right? And as such, they are getting a greater understanding as to where Jamaica is today, how far we've come from the unaliving of our brothers and sisters over political gains that they never got. So it's like, back then they were fighting a war where the trickle-down effect never happened.
Okay.
Right?
Let me have you comment on this, Harry. We're 28, 20, pushing forward. In the last election, the PNP, led by Mark Golding, got 401, a little over 401,000. He said that they are now solid as a rock. I mean, a most absurd statement. Mr. Golding doesn't even understand. 401,000 Jamaicans, Harry, walked into the booth and chose to vote for the PNP. This is a man whose party's history represents the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in modern Jamaican politics. The poor lost their savings, lost their faith, while a connected few got richer. This man, Harry, who has British colonial heritage, the bloodline of the empire that taught us that we were meant to serve. We were not meant to govern ourselves. The very system that wired dependency into us, into our brains. 401,000 voted for the master's son to replace the son of the soil. The mindset, Harry, the mindset that Holness is dismantling is dying, but it is still very much alive.
It is. It is, because what happened in the neighbor, you see what shaped the landscape of that mindset was you are lesser than. Right? You don't know what it means to make your own choices. You can't govern you.
Yes.
And that has been drilled in for centuries. Now, of course, we know a lot of people will suffer from Stockholm syndrome, right? But you also have a set that buys into this because what? It has reached home to them that anything foreign is good, is superior. anything from the soil, anything bred from us is
good.
unworthy.
Oh, yes, that's part of the struggle.
That is a neighbor. This is how it happened. It's a psychological manipulation embedded.
In other words, if Holness came from uptown, he probably would have probably done better.
Yeah, because now the election would look and say, well, two background masters, you know, and we will look at it now and say, all right, choose one or the other. But and that goes into even those who are highly intelligent in a neighbor. They buy into that, you know. Because you can control the mind. The mind is a powerful thing in a neighbor.
Yeah.
And when you can wield power over it.
Yeah. You went to the university, Harry. When you were a student there, did you see any of this in the way it operated? I don't want you to be critical of your alma mater in any way, but for the benefit of our listeners, you mentioned the whole matter of those with the benefit of education. Did you see a different thinking among them?
You had a level of divide, neighbor, but at the end of the day, because when I went, the landscape was changing.
Already.
Right. So you would have seen the likes of Andre Horton being a lecturer. You would have also seen greater access to this level of education by various demographies. But if you roll back the times to say, let's go back to, let's say 2010.
Yes.
You would have seen a level of prestige if you're not from a certain school, and if you're not, you know, they're the ones who technically call the shots. Right? We had this thing where they say social sciences run the country.
STEM,
right?
Not STEM. Social sciences.
Social sciences. And here's why. Because everything within government falls under that practice.
And
under that
social
department.
sciences mean philosophy, psychology.
Business, all of that. Governance, political science.
Yes.
All of that you need to form a government. And it wasn't the brightest that calls a shot. It was who was well connected. And those who were well connected, truthfully, was never of your skin tone. You would have had, out of 100, you may have had one gifted dark-skinned person who would challenge. But that's futile. And I can say it, if we look in terms of the lecture aspect, Andre Horton would have been a representation of that. To make it
dark skin.
As a dark skin. So when the landscape started changing and access started being granted, no, it was also a political move, because you needed to understand that these are the next set of minds you want to control. But you ensure that the hierarchical structure still maintains a high level.
Yes.
And then what happens now is they started moving it from skin tone to who, which would have represented the People's National Party, grinding in certain aspects into the teaching. The examples given, right? The metaphors used, the perspectives shared was never balanced. It leaned to one side.
What you saying to me? At the university, son?
At the university, neighbor. So it was never one that, if you don't know, because for me personally,
hold on. At the university,
yeah,
you picked up that there was a bias towards the PNP.
Yeah, neighbor. If you could have counted the, I want to say, fear, perspectives from specific lecturers, you could see a little bit more of a balanced argument. But majority got it through political benefits, neighbor. Right? And it goes back in terms of with Aluna Samba. It wasn't just specific institutions deep in civic society. They also ensured in greater institutions to shape the minds. Those who held high stake power in that university were strongly aligned. Neighbor,
What did Dickens you saying to me?
and I'll bring it home to show you.
What you saying to me?
The government of that time did not face heavy criticisms from the university level. This should have been an institution that does great research and challenge governments and give governments recommendations.
Technocratic.
Exactly. And they ensure that they could have bred technocrats who will be coming up to think in that way.
Uh-huh.
And as such, when you, because for me, neighbor, whenever I have a specific class or so on, I don't think lecturers like hear me coming in.
Oh Lord. Why is that?
Because I'm coming from a rich history of information deep in the People's National Party. My father was hands-on, right? As Jamaica is from a little bit a boy. And that man has a deep hatred for People's National Party. Neighbor, I couldn't turn on the TV and say one.
Your father?
Yeah. Right? I couldn't turn on the TV and say one PMP on it. And it not lock off.
He will lock it off.
Yeah. Because he knows the nits and crannies as to what transpired. So I grew up with access to that information, which I couldn't challenge yet, because I was a boy. But as I did further research and started to see the biases as I got older, I realized. Real eyes realized, neighbor. Right? And when it hit the university level, you knew you were going into an institution highly political.
My God.
So much so that when you put forward certain, I want to bring it to say, thesis, you can see the urge as to why did you choose that? And your reasons would have been valid, but it was met with as if a solution was found, so then find the problem to the solution to kind of steer you away from it.
What is this young man telling Jamaica tonight? What is this young man, member Harry Henriquez, telling Jamaica tonight, sir? Oh,
so we had to look at it, neighbor, where, because I learn like this. Other persons write notes. Some persons are visual learners. I'm a combination where I have discussions in the class, and that's how I remember things. That is how I can do it. So when I go into any lecture and I start to put questions to you, the moment you buck shuffle for me, I'm going to apply more pressure. And then they don't like to see these things because now they have to come with empirical evidence over their belief. And if they were doing it right from the get-go, you would have had the facts over your belief. So it's a whole lot of things, neighbor. It's an institution marred and heavily invested in for the People's National Party. It is just now you get a little fair balance as those persons, may God rest their souls and so on. Some would have passed on and some age caught up with some and they had to leave. But they ensured they had some level of succession planning. They may not have been as tribalistic, no, as those before them, as their successors. But you still have high evidence of it, dear neighbor.
Wow. Well, that's great. Finally, Harry, as we bring the curtains down on our program tonight, the whole matter of Holness as a leader of exceptional qualities. When I did the research today, I was trying to compare him to some of the best leaders in the world, and he is right up there. Go across the Caribbean, Harry, and go across the world. Wouldn't you not say that Jamaica is blessed with the prime minister that we have today, that he could be matched up with any president, any prime minister right across the world.
Easily, neighbor.
You are a man that would have studied leadership. You know about leadership. Wouldn't you say that the prime minister that Jamaica has could succeed in any country in the world?
He could. And I want to tell you, he would have done a lot more in certain countries that have greater resources and more discipline, because Jamaica hard for governing a neighbor.
I tell you that, oh God, we need to spend a whole program on that difficulty, Harry. It is a
neighbor
very point,
It's crazy. And one of the major things makes it hard is the hypocrisy. You will have a lot of people beating the government now, saying, oh, the money that's it's not missing, it's there, it's all accounted for. But them say it's corruption. And these same people with their hypocritical self in the past would have probably bribed a police, cut a line, do something unethical, because that's hypocrisy,
Yeah. So speak to his leadership, because I'd love to hear you on it. Across the world, you have the Keir Starmers, you have the Trump, you have the Macron. Right here in the Caribbean, you have Motley, you have all of them. In France, Holness for Jamaica, Harry, in this 21st century represents one of the world's best. Think the crisis that he has led this country through, and think about Jamaica today based on what Jamaica has gone. I think he probably is in the top 5 best leaders in the world, Harry.
Neighbor, I'll tell you this, because I love segment up the world as well. In the Western Hemisphere, there's only one head of state that I would say trumps Andrew Holness, and that's Nayib Bukele.
Yes.
He's the only one, and I stand on that, and I beg anybody to challenge me on that. Right? Huh? Because when you look at what
in the Western Hemisphere. Now,
in the Western,
understand the Western Hemisphere.
So when you look at it, neighbor, so it cuts right between Atlantic coming straight down. So we have South America, North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, right? And when you look
this region, Holness would be number 2 for you.
Would number 2, because and here's the thing, because I've looked at, we can rule out North America, right? We can also rule out Central America, in all honesty. And you look at the challenges now when you come to the South American region, that's real problem in a neighbor, right? Whether it is crime, fiscal poor management, and so on. That
you're also putting into the context the country's resources and the and the people
and the history that got them there.
Yes.
Right? And when you look at what is familiar, poor management, improper use of resources, and I'm separating them, you also had governments that didn't care for the people, misuse of the best resources available in these countries, and corruption. Right? And when you look at the transformation that these two men have achieved in short time, neighbor, Jamaica was known as the crime capital of the world.
Tell them.
Followed right after El Salvador.
Tell them.
Right? And while we may not, this is made a difference, El Salvador had 3 global gangs. We didn't. So why are we running down their numbers? It shows poor governance of the time. And when you look and see the decisions that both had to make, having seen failures after failures, neighbor, in Jamaican words, in a take, boy, if it bring me where we are.
You are telling our listeners that Holness is among the best leaders across the world at this time. That Jamaica possesses in Holness one of the better world leaders in terms of all the dynamics of leadership and what he has to handle. you are saying Holness is coming out way in the top 5.
Easily, neighbor.
My God.
Easily. And the thing about it, because we're getting, and I chose Nayib Bukele because I know wholeheartedly what happened in El Salvador, right? And you can look at the other countries around it, Colombia, Venezuela, and so on. They're still suffering from what El Salvador has solved.
Absolutely.
Right? And look at what Andrew Holness and his team has done for crime for us. And they've taken, I don't want to say taken out, but they've drastically reduced the monster that put fear in the lives of an entire nation. The monster that has held both country and its people back for decades. And when you look, and I'm not speaking crime, when we look at gun and whatever, we're also speaking criminal activities when it comes down to corruption. Both men had to deal with it. They were given one of the worst hand you could get in the deck, neighbor. But guess what? They are playing the best hand in the game with what they have, and it's working for them.
I think you make a very good point when you point to the people, Harry, because when you talk about Jamaicans, we don't know order, Harry, we are
neighbor
almost ungovernable.
Bukele may have been fighting against criminals, hardcore criminals. But you know what Andrew is fighting against, neighbor? Yes. Andrew is fighting the very people against themselves.
Oh.
Imagine you're there trying to advance these people. Because there's no bias in your governance, in his governance, But you have to fight them to get it. To say, this is what we need to do for you to be better, not me.
Yes, and you didn't even mention the opposition PNP that is in his upon, but the obstructionists that they are.
Yeah.
Because
and they're fueling the past and tapping into the emotions of these people.
When you look
and so many Jamaicans are gullible in two ways. They're gullible as to our reality, and they're gullible as to what is coming, neighbor. And I use gullible because the People's National Party has weaponized these people votes, the 401,913. They've weaponized these people against their very own success and advancement. That is what Andrew Holness is fighting against. And also, those who are unconvinced of governance.
Yes.
Because now he's not only trying to ensure that those who stand against him understand what he's doing for them, but now he has to re-image how governance should look to those who want better, to those who are disheartened by the process. He wants them to trust systems and frameworks and not people. And that's a very hard thing because a lot of people has been hurt by the same system for decades that should have helped them, that should have created the opportunities. And I can bring it back, neighbor, to that tectonic shift, the monumental and foundational changes in ideologies that demarks, neighbor. That is what Andrew Holness is trying to achieve, but he's being fought not just by an opposition, but by the very people who he's trying to rise up out of the slums mentally so they can step into the new Jamaica that is being built for them, so they can experience it, they can live it. So we now have to hear, like when our grandparents used to say, they have to catch water down on one part and carry it go up 2 hills. Now you turn on your tap and you have to turn it down quick because water bust through pipe. Roads being built. You can traverse the country in a short time. Investor confidence is coming back. Infrastructure of modern day of that will envision, neighbor. And I can tell you, a lot of first world countries will envy the end result of this. Right? These are the things that Andrew Holness is fighting to do. And it's going to take time. But the people have to trust the process. The same way how they've spent and waste time in emotional state and kept the People's National Party there for almost 2 decades straight. They need to give success a chance. They need to give themselves a chance. And that chance only comes through the current leadership. And it has to be rewarded when the time comes.
Thank you so much, Harry. Hold on there for me. Listeners, why I tell you, why Harry, we need to get on with this a little bit more. Well, let me say, you're gonna jump over to YouTube, to TikTok. You hear, Harry? Shafreen?
Yes, neighbor.
Shafreen, that's gonna have to do it for me for YouTube tonight. We want to thank the listeners. We had 2 breaks in our transmission because of electricity power failure. The listeners stay with us. Want to thank them so much. You want to just thank them for me? Did you have any polls for me tonight, Shafreen?
I did. Well, I had 1 poll and 1 quiz.
Okay, let me hear the quiz.
Sure. So the poll was, what is Jamaica's biggest wound? And the choices were political tribalism, crime, distrust of institutions, and poverty. And overwhelmingly, 75% voted political tribalism.
Yes.
12% stated crime. Distrust was at 9% and poverty was 4%. Right?
4% poverty. Wow.
4%. So the biggest problem right now is unity in Jamaica, according to the poll.
I agree with that. Well, what is the other quiz? The quiz question?
Yes. So the quiz was, which of the following contributes most to long-term national prosperity?
Yes.
And the choices were education, infrastructure, public safety, and all of the above. And the correct answer is all of the above.
Oh.
Yes, you need educated people, you need infrastructure so that the people can actually flourish, and you need public safety so people can do commerce safely. Yes. Yeah. So all of those are needed.
How were the comments over there? The people enjoy the program?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to thank the viewers for staying with us.
Yes.
We had some technical issues, with JPS doing their thing in Jamaica.
Yes.
And despite that, you stayed with us, and I want to thank you for staying and being loyal to us as we continue the program and we press on. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for holding things down on that side for us, Shafreen. Great. Thank you so much. Have a great night, YouTubers. I'll catch up with you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye. Have a great night and take care of yourselves. And thank you for spending 3 hours with us tonight. You're wonderful. Great to have you. Please remember that we're looking for your support to push forward and to expand what we do. We are in need of some new equipment, some things to advance and do better on the production side. So if you can chip in and help us, we'll be happy for that. The information is going across your screen, and we appreciate as small of a support as you can. We're not giving nothing to put on, and therefore we're asking you to invest in us, okay? Our Zelle account is going across the screen and our Cash App. Want to thank you for your support. YouTube, chip in and support us. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. Take care of yourselves, okay? Bye-bye.